మంచి గుండెలు రౌడీల్లో కూర్చున్నావు ఏంటో ఇవాళ. Start with a nice deep breath.
You know in Alavaikundapuramlo, the dude? No, but seriously, this is going to be some heavy stuff. So I think people may have briefly touched over it, but I've never seen it in a full-on video before.
Yes.
So here we go.
We asked you guys what you want to hear us talk on. Someone wanted us to address red flags in partners. Instead of red flags in partners, we put a swAha twist on this, and we're going to address red flags in Telugu cinema.
I think it just sort of happens in like maybe one or two dialogues in the film that have been somehow approved by like the entire film crew, and we just gloss over it. No one really talks about it, and these are repeated things that we've seen. It's not just like one in one film, because we've come up with a list of items that we think we've seen often, but I'm pretty sure we're not covering the entire.
It's not exhaustive. We're barely scratching the surface.
Yeah.
And we're going to be very blunt today. So we're going to
sit down, buckle up, let's go for a long drive, because this is going to be long.
What do you think? అంటే ఈ మధ్య కాలం సినిమాలు చూస్తున్నప్పుడు నీకేమన్నా లైక్ ఇది బెటర్ అయినట్టు అనిపిస్తుందా? Are you still seeing like what do you feel?
I feel like in the smaller films, not like commercial mass films. Again, I hate saying that small films, big films like that divide, because every film is a film. But like the big mass commercial films, I don't think have changed a whole lot.
Oh yeah.
In fact, I feel like some of them are making the problem worse by addressing it. But then the smaller films, I think, are doing a really good job of addressing some of these red flags, if not like actually changing the narrative.
Yeah.
So I like where this is going, but like I think we're still backwards in some sense.
అది కరెక్టే. And I think
సారీ నేను సీరియస్ ఇక్కడ. హలో అమ్మా, హెవీ టాపిక్, బరువు మొయ్యాలి.
నువ్వు అన్నట్టు మాస్ మూవీస్లో they try to appeal to like what they think the common man is.
It's the male gaze, guys. It's the male gaze.
Yeah.
I had to say, I am saying it outright. I think mass commercial films are made for the male gaze. A lot of this stuff goes back to the 2000s movies. Even though they had this like family vibe to them, or family entertainer vibe to them, there was a lot of troublesome content in it.
Family entertainer.
But okay. Family entertainer with the mass gory action. Ademto mari.
Em paado.
The first thing that I think about is like a lot of the males were telling the females how to act and behave in order to be accepted into society. I'll give you an example, okay? Wait. Fun fact. In college, I actually wrote a paper on this specific movie, which I'm not going to say out loud right now, about this exact scene for my anthropology paper.
And let's see if you guys can guess what the movie is.
Anyway, I think it's going to be pretty known. So in that scene, it's a very, very famous actor telling the actress, right? She's very secure with herself. She's very career oriented. She's just like chilling. She's having a good time. And this guy is telling her how to be a woman and what is most acceptable to be a woman.
Oh, wow.
Even though she's like fully secure with who she is, she seems to be very career oriented. It's kind of concerning, because it's like you're telling someone who's already very confident about who they are that like, the way that you are right now, I'm not vibing with it, and society's not going to vibe with you either.
Yeah, because you're not that, like, what is that? The ideal woman that a man would desire.
That's actually the translated subtitles for that. What is the ideal woman? Yeah, and so it really bugged me to the point where I actually wrote a paper on this.
This is amazing. I need a copy of this paper. Thank you.
I think I lost it. It's been a really long time. Anyway, so that was really like triggering for me, because I think all this time we've heard like subtle hints being thrown around here and there to now all of a sudden in this film where there's prominent actors, which by the way, I think in our Telugu community, we don't just look at the character, we look at who's actually playing it too. So we take what their word is very seriously, even if it's the character's word.
My God.
But it's like, oh no, it's the actor, like this is how they believe, blah, blah, blah. We're not
మా హీరో చెప్తే అదే శాసనం అంతే.
Abu, yeah. Someone of this stature, right, is saying something like this. You don't think with the hero worship that we have in this film
worship.
Isn't it not hero worship? Yes. I mean, come on. We look at the like Para Abhishekams and the things that we do before movies.
See, that yeah.
Sorry, I feel like I spilled a lot of things that I've been hiding for so long because I didn't really have a platform to say it in. And I'm using this platform to
This is a safe space.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, Cindy. Thanks,
May God bless you, my child.
That's a very common theme in 2000s movies, even today. I think we recently saw a film too.
Because I think even today, the way they say it is different, but they say the same thing.
It's the exact
Because what
same
ends
stuff.
up happening is, I very recently, 2 days ago, saw a movie where at the end, a girl who, like the lead actress, that character, she chooses her career and she's like, I'm not ready for this. To settle down, have kids, all that stuff. So she pretty much says, I want to take some time and build my career and then think about all of this. Because if I have kids, I want to commit to it and I want to be with them and be there for them. So she's like, I need some time, which is a very fair ask. At the end of the movie, she herself is like pining over this guy 2 days later. And she's like, oh my God, I lost my chance to marry him. I need to go marry him. I'm going to give up on my career to go do that. And I'm like, what the heck? Like when a man chooses his career, it's for his family. But when a woman chooses her career, it's because she's selfish. How does this make sense? This is not on the list. We're going off script right now. But stuff like this makes my blood boil. It's the double standards. అంటే 24 గంటలు పొద్దున్న లేచి తులసి పూజ చేసి వండి ఫుడ్ పెట్టి అంతేనా?
I know. And that's the ideal woman. Because if we go back to that scene that I was talking about, there was a point where he mentions like చక్కగా చీర కట్టుకుని కాటికి ఏంటిది కళ్ళకి కాటికి పెట్టుకుని ఇది చేసి and I'm just like, bro, why are we discussing what is good and what is bad?
Yeah, it's like,
versus somebody being happy, not happy. When they say stuff like this, it's because one, a lot of these things are written by men.
Yeah.
When have we heard, okay, we're going really off script now, because now that I'm thinking about this, a lot of these dialogues are written by men, directed by men, and it's for the male gaze. So we have like a literal triple threat going here.
Yeah, and it's literally to elevate the hero.
Okay, wait. The other thing that I was realizing is when you were talking about that scene where she was career oriented, like a lot of people, they say, oh, we're writing strong female characters, and they give them these roles, right? Where it's like, oh, she's career oriented, she's got short hair or whatever. She fits that like design. But then it'll like change at the end. No one is taking the girl for who she is. Especially in these mass commercial films. I'm not talking about the smaller ones. Because even if we think about that one scene where she's like hiding behind the curtain. This is a different movie. But you know where the one she's like hiding behind a curtain?
బయటికి రామా?
నేను బయటే ఉన్నాను నాన్న.
Even the dad. Right? Like, she's like, నన్ను ఎవరు చూస్తారు నాన్న? And he's like, ఉంటాడులేమా ఏ తలకమాసినోడు. అంటే he's like saying, you're not pretty.
Yeah.
You're
like,
not being...
whoa, I didn't realize that. See, that's what I mean. Like, no, they're not giving women the confidence. They're trying to, but they're doing such a terrible job of it. I think
they're not even trying. They're masking it. Is what's happening.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to tell us that they are, but in reality, what they're showing is still that they need help to, like, you know, turn into the ideal woman. Right. It's still like you're not ideal.
Notice initially. How the help usually comes from the actor.
Yeah.
It doesn't come from themselves.
As you said, this is in our mass films, right? In our art films.
We call them the art films.
Art films, okay?
Yeah.
వాటిల్లో there's this one dialogue in this movie. I'm sure you guys know of it. Oh, there's a summon that she gets, and then the guy, like, she's not sure if she wants to go for it. And then she was forced to shut down her shop because some guy, like, held her hand and, like, you know, broke her bangles, and then there was a cut. All this stuff happened. So her parents saw, and they're like, "Chalu, inka nu velli nee business lo avi em cheyakarledu. It's enough." And then she says, because the dad goes, మేబీ ఆ ఇంకో మగాడి వల్లనే నీకు నువ్వు అనుకున్నది లైఫ్లో సాధిస్తావేమో అంటే, ఏమో వాడు మగాడే కదా, సపోర్ట్ చేస్తాడో చంపేస్తాడో ఎవరికి తెలుసు. Like in art films there's a lot more sensitivity to this.
I can understand that, but the thing you said where she had to shut down her business because of a dude, I mean, that happens also quite often in these films, or they show that happening in these films. This really, I feel like, translates into daily life, because I've personally heard from people in our community where they've been discouraged from pursuing higher degrees because who's going to marry them if they have higher degrees than the man?
Okay.
And this, yeah.
It's all linked to marriage. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Okay. పెళ్లి చూపులు జరుగుతుంటాయి. అబ్బాయి ఏం చదువుకున్నాడు? Okay, fine. అమ్మాయి అందంగా ఉంది. That's it.
బ్రో, అందంగా ఉందా, తెల్లగా ఉందా, చీర కట్టుకుందా, కాఫీ పెట్టిందా, వంట చేయడం వచ్చా, very domesticated stuff.
There are some like web series and stuff that started addressing this. There's this one web series where she's like, వంట వచ్చా, ఇది చేయడం వచ్చా, అది చేయడం వచ్చా, and they're like, MBAలో అవన్నీ నేర్పించలేదు.
Oh, bro, wait, that was a fist bump to that web series. Because of these mass commercial films have the reach that they have, a lot of people that I've spoken to in the past like year have only watched those mass commercial films. They don't even know about some of these art films or web series that actually discuss these topics. Let's also talk about the red flag that is stalking the girl, harassing the girl into liking the hero in order to like him back.
Exactly. So with this has been happening since way back in like the day where it's like niluvave valakanulla dana nunchi annattu. It's like from the beginning, it's like ఒక్కసారి ఒప్పుకోకపోతే keep like stalking her, keep harassing her. పదోసారికైనా పడి తీరుతుంది అంతే. I've said this before, I'm gonna say it again. That's basically the mindset.
This happened in a recent film too, so it's not something that's from the 2000s.
No.
This happened with the movie that we recently watched. It was in there. It was in there.
Why is stalking normalized? Please tell me why we're not issuing a restraining order in every single movie. Like, the idea of stalking over time became romanticized.
Yeah.
And what happens is, cinema lo ammayilu kuda what they do is, in a couple of meetings, they're like, wow.
Do it some. Yeah.
And they're like, oh my boy.
Na kosam fight chesadu. Oh, wow. It's always na kosam fight chesadu, so I'm going to fall for him. No, wait. I have a feeling.
He's hurting people.
I have a feeling. Undu chapta. You know that psychology concept where if you repeatedly expose somebody to something, they're more likely to like learn it or do it. It's like a learning strategy.
Okay. ఈ పట్టం ఏంట్రా బాబు, నాకు అర్థమైతే
నా కాళ్ళు నొప్పి. I don't want to fight.
మోకాలు చెప్పులు.
My మోకాళ్ళు are అరిగిపోయింది, right? First of all, what about the girl did you actually like in these things?
చూడటానికి బాగుందండి.
99% of the time, they're always like, wow, she's so beautiful. What if she's like the most sadistic, narcissistic person you've ever met in your life?
And even
actually, there's a movie on that. And then she like anyway.
Now I'm going on another tangent.
We're so triggered right now. We thought this was going to be an easy one to film, but apparently this is not. Okay, buckle down, people.
So we're on the second red flag. Now this is section 2.1 anamata.
No, 2.3.2.1.
చూసినప్పుడు ఓ ఎంత అందంగా ఉంది అని చెప్పి వెంట పడతారు. ఓ సినిమాలో చూపించారు కూడా recently. And then what happens is they find out that she's some like pani manchi or something. And then they're like, if all you need is the looks, then why do you care about anything else?
Outside in the real world, it's like, this is harassment. This is like abusive.
But inkoti, cinema is also inspired by real life.
Yeah,
right?
so it's like
exactly.
a
so
circle.
The issue here is cinema has so much power over us that they can basically take these concepts, which are extremely toxic, that are happening in the real world, bring them into the cinema, but don't glorify them. The minute you glorify that, it becomes a norm. It becomes accepted.
That's what they do in the art films.
Yeah.
which is they don't glorify these concepts, I think, and they actually talk about the storyline more than they do this hero worship every time.
Okay, here's another thing. Do you notice most of the time women are kind of like suppressed from expressing their emotions to men first?
And if they do express their emotions first, they're like looked down upon too.
Yeah, it's like novella chepta mundu. A very popular movie, okay? In that movie, the lead male character, he tells the girl that అమ్మాయిలంటే ఎవరెస్ట్లా ఉండాలి ఆల్ దిస్ ఓకే అంతా అయ్యాక హీస్ లైక్ అమ్మాయిల చుట్టూ అబ్బాయిలు తిరిగితే అది రొమాన్స్ అబ్బాయిల చుట్టూ అమ్మాయిలు తిరిగితే అది న్యూసెన్సో నాన్ సెన్సో సంథింగ్ లైక్ దట్ సో హీ బేసిక్లీ వాజ్ లైక్ నో అమ్మాయిలు వెళ్ళి దే కెన్ నాట్ express themselves. Like, how is this fair?
I didn't realize how upsetting this conversation was gonna be. Because we talk about it one by one, right? We don't just like come with a concept and then try to talk about all the examples. No. So now I'm just sort of like, why do I even watch these? But
see, I will tell you, this is the reason of the late I've been enjoying these up and coming directors and their concepts. I'm not going to call them chinna directors or anything. They're up and coming because I would like to see them be uninfluenced by this mass commercial field and pursue the path that they're on.
Yeah.
And if they do, I think we're on the right track.
Every once in a while, we're just like, Happa, why did they include that dialogue? Or like we cringe that like this character didn't get the space that they needed to fully express themselves, or they add in like the character's great but then they add in some sort of chiller dialogue, you know, and it's just like endukura.
I'm literally like adding to our list, and I think we've gotten through like 1.5 bullet at this point that we've
because like the more we kept thinking about it, the more that kept coming out, and it just shows that like these are bothersome things that have definitely shaped the way we view movies and the way we view these things in our daily lives. So,
and I think a lot of this also has to do with the fact that the way we watched movies as kids is different than the way we're watching movies today.
Right.
And it's also about the stage of life we're in right now and able to comprehend the nuances in these movies. And
it's kind of like
so problematic now.
It's kind of like when we used to sing songs then and we had no idea what the lyrics meant, and then as we grew up we're just like, oh we need to take a break, because I think I'm a little bit triggered. So we're gonna stop the conversation here for now, but put in the comments below what red flags have you seen from Telugu movies, because I know this is just one and a half, not even one full, like this is just
we scratched the surface.
Scratch kadra adi catch
doubling lo adjust cheskondi.
Anyways, that's all for now.
I'm gonna go meditate.
We'll be back to talk more about these
once
red flags.
We decompress a little,
so stay tuned.
Red Flag Rants, TBC.
To be continued. Okay, perfect. You notice all of the examples that we're talking about is actually the exact same hero.
It is actually very
actor.
Hero anesindandi. Everybody, inhale and exhale, because this topic is gonna take you for a spin.